Hey guys, it's KOKOStern with Why You Should, and today we're going to go a little biased for me, but we're going to talk about why you should really care about esports and understand that esports is a thing and acknowledge its existence more so. So I want to start out with a personal experience of mine, as I usually do. As a kid, I never actually understood why people care about sports. Generally, I never actually connected to one of those sports. I never liked really playing them. A nerd kid doesn't do sports in most cases, and I never got that. I never got that crazy people that take off their shirts and paint their faces and paint their chests with the name of their team and with the colors and just go yelling at the stands like crazy people. I never understood that. And I finally got to understanding that when I got into esports, which is electronic sports. Basically, it's the same freaking thing, just it's electronic. And today, again, we're gonna go biased because I like one specific game that's the biggest game for me. At least there are a couple of games that are considered esports and electronic sports really that have reached such a high level of everything pretty much of being an actual sport. And the one that I'm talking about is obviously Dota, which is the one that I like. So I actually want to talk about the International and actually show you. I'm actually going to show you the website here. The International is the really, really great competition, the biggest competition of the year that's by the people who actually make Dota. It's by Valve, the people who make the game. And it's a huge freaking competition. I'm going to scroll down a little bit and you can look right here at the current prize pool. And the current prize pool started at $1.6 million, but Valve did a very special thing. In the actual game, it's free to play, completely free to play, but you can buy cosmetic items and all kinds of general things just to make the game prettier and cosmetic and maybe support your specific team. And what they did, they basically put in a book that you could buy for 10 bucks. It's actually a compendium of all kinds of stats and information. Like, think about baseball or basketball that you have, cards, maybe you have Sammy Sosa home runs and all kinds of things like that. Actual stats about the players, about the teams. And you can actually have that with the compendium. There's so much information in there, and you can bet on specific things. Who do you think will get through and get things from that? And from each compendium actually sold, they put in 25%, which is 2.5 bucks for every compendium, into the prize pool. And that actually made it so that this prize pool, which is nearing $2 million, $2 million, let that sit in your brain. That's a huge amount of money. That's going to be the biggest prize pool ever for an electronic sports event, any event, because it's huge. It's $2 million freaking dollars. And it's a really wonderful thing that Valve is doing here with that money. And there's all kinds of stretch goals, all kinds of other, little prizes once you get to something that will incentivize people to actually buy the compendium and get involved in the process. And it's just part of how this is becoming so freakishly big. And in terms of production value, I can't actually stress this enough. In the production value of this, there's actually a couple of studios that they're the biggest studios that actually broadcast these things. Obviously, everything is on streams. It's not on TV. It's on streams in the internet. We got replays. We've got instant replays. I can't actually explain how amazing that is for me to actually we have instant replays in the broadcast. That's amazing. When I say we, I mean is actually broadcasting right now the West qualifiers for the International. There's the West qualifiers and Eastern qualifiers. Not going to go into details too much, but we have instant replay. They got it. That's just something insane happens, and then there's the calm after the storm, and then you can show the instant replay and explain in a little bit better detail what actually freaking happened in there. And it comes on with everything from, the casters. I come back to what I said earlier. I never understood the casters going crazy. It's like, goal, yes, or something like that, say in soccer. We have that in Dota. It's actually the same freaking thing. When a big team fight happens, when something really monumental happens, you got that excitement levels. You got that you just go up into that, and it's a sport. It's a sport for everything, and people don't actually really know that this exists yet, which is really unfortunate because this is a sport in every possible way. You have the incredible prize pools, you have the production value there, you have the throngs of viewers actually watching, and you know something is a sport when you have more people, more viewers than actual players. There are people who just watch Dota, they don't play anymore, or maybe they never played, but they just watch it. Same thing with StarCraft 2 and League of Legends as well, which are the other big names in terms of esports. And this is just, it's so big and so huge, and I finally understand these things. And we're getting to that state where we're considered, I really think that it's considered a sport to everything, in every way, because you have the production value. You have the same thing with the viewers, you have the communities coming up, you have the Reddits and the Twitters and the news sites. You have complete news sites with stats, with tracking of the players, of the teams. Everything is there. This is a sport in every possible way. You can compare this one-to-one to every physical sport such as baseball, basketball, and whatever. And the only real difference is that it's broadcast on the internet for completely free instead of watching it on television at specific times, which makes it even more comfortable. So I never understood that until I got to esports. And a lot of other people, I'm assuming, never got that experience as well because they never maybe connected to any one of these physical sports. But with esports, you can have that. And it's so important to me to actually pass on how incredible this is. I want to show you, again, a very biased example for me. There's a lot of news sites and information sites, and right now for the last more than a year, I've been working with Gosu Gamers, which is one of those sites, just one of those sites of those news sites, and we're actually going through a maintenance period to improve the site, but we have a thing called the Dota Wiki, actually, that we got in. It's the Gosu Wiki. There's actually 3 of those. There is the Dota 2 Wiki, the Liquipedia Wiki, for Dota 2, and now the Gosu Wiki, which is the newest contender, in a way, for the wiki. And I'm just going to go into you can also see there's a crap ton of things in here, but I'm going to go pretty much in the first page that you can find here, which is Loda. It's a player, it's one of those players, this guy called Loda, Jonathan Berg. And I just want to show you, I'm actually, the screen isn't that big enough, so at this right side, you can actually see, you know, this little, bracket area where you can have his full name, country of origin, team, former team's role, and his social media links so that you can follow him if you wish so. And Loda, his biography, his whole career, actually in parts. Dota, obviously now it's Dota 2, which was released in 2011. The first international, it's the biggest competition, actually started in 2011, but there was Dota from Warcraft 3. I'm not going to go into the history of Dota specifically, but it goes back about 9 years. And so his career from there, his Dota 2 career, team history with years, as well as achievements and prize pools that he actually won. And you have this for pretty much every player, or at least we're getting there to have it for each player, and teams, and stats for everything, and tournaments, and events, and you have... This thing is so huge, and remember, this is just one of the wikis. There's 3 of them, all filled to brim with stats and information. And there is, I might even say that it's bigger, because it's completely electronic. It might be actually bigger on the level of you know, being online and community and stuff like that. Might be even bigger than physical sports, such as basketball and baseball and all those things. And it's amazing, and you should really not count this out. And one of the biggest things here for me, there are people who just play these games and aren't even aware or don't even go into the fact that it's also a viewership sport. People don't consider these electronic games, basically, as viewership sports. And you really, really should look at how much there actually is in there. There's so much here. And it's really just that astounding. And I really think that people should just go in. And I just want to finish here about telling you why you should care about esports and why you should go into esports and consider them an actual viewership sport. I want to finish with a little story that I personally had. I went to, the first time that I knew that this thing is really, really grand and really, really big is when I actually went to a Barcraft, an event called a Barcraft that's for StarCraft 2. It's basically going into a bar and watching instead of soccer, because you go into a bar and you have you get your beer and you watch basketball or you watch whatever other physical sports. But no, we watched StarCraft. We had an event on Facebook and we went to a specific bar and we took over the big screens and the televisions there and we connected it to the internet and we put on StarCraft, one of the grand events. I'm going to close the window because there's a dog yapping. And we actually, sorry about that, and we watched StarCraft. And I sat down with a beer in a bar and I watched a game of StarCraft with about, what was it, 60, 70, I think we reached 100 at some point people in a bar watching StarCraft. Not soccer, not a physical sport, but an electronic one. And this kind of event is not unique to Israel, to where I am right now at all. Everybody around the world have these things, these events, Barcrafts for StarCraft and Pub Stomps for League of Legends and Dota 2. That's the name of the event because it's a way of combining the name of the game with, a bar. And the moment that I knew that this was huge is when we sat down, and I sat down with a beer watching the game, and there's two people coming up to me because I just sat closest to the door. And there was two guys, I think they were about 50s, they work the whole day and they want to go to the bar and watch. It was a sports bar, so you expect to have some sort of sports game up, and they wanted to just come over, get their beer, and watch something. And they asked me, "Kid, what the hell are you watching?" And I told them, StarCraft. It's a video game. And that just put the biggest smile on my face and still gives me goosebumps when I think about that moment, because that was just, yeah, we're watching StarCraft. It's a video game. It's an electronic freaking sport. And that pretty much is it. So if you don't watch any one of these games or any other game and you don't consider it an esport, you're wrong, and you should really get in the scene and start considering this as an actual sport, because it is. It's there. It's that big. And that's why you should really care about these things and understand them and acknowledge them as sports. That's it. I'm done for today. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this has been educational and changed your mind a little bit, or just strengthened your resolve to watch more Dota. The International West qualifiers are still up. There's then the East qualifiers, which are coming up in about a week or two. And in August, there is the International itself, which will have, about 500,000 people watching online and in-game. There's actually TV in-game that you could watch. And caring very much about this esport. That's it for me for today. My name is KOKOStern. I very much appreciate it if you like this stuff, that you would subscribe, and I will see you next time. Laters, guys.